For years, the Democrats and the left have been saying that we have to allow illegal immigrants into this country because obviously they're the backbone of our workforce. They enrich us culturally and make us a better nation. However, you and I know that's not exactly true. And I want to highlight two stories today that exemplify why it's not true. The first of which, as you can see on the screen over here, is a story of two women who are accused of traveling to Florida and stealing $6,000 worth of merchandise in what is described as an organized crime ring. And what I want to really highlight in this first segment is the interaction these two were having in the backseat after their arrest at the disbelief that laws are actually being enforced in this nation. But before we begin, don't forget to like and comment on this video so we get through the algorithms. Here we go.
Pero mañana te van a darte, hoy día o mañana te van a darte la libertad, sí o sí, te la tienen que dártela porque no te pueden tenerte en cana, porque tú no tenés delito aquí y por eso por la evidencia no pueden tenerte en cana. Y vos,
¿dónde te casaron?
Afuera, en la camioneta y a vos.
Amigo, yo voy caminando, de repente este pasa por el lado mío, el buen que venía, pasó por el lado mío y dije, no, pero la guata empieza a ver cuando me dice que pare, conche tu madre, el viejo culiado venía sapeándonos del Burlington, weón. Oiga, pero dígame la verdad, que a los otros no nos dan así como para pagar plata, cash.
La verdad, ustedes se van a ir para atrás a Argentina.
¿Deportar?
Sí. Te están poniendo un detainer, se llama.
¿Un hall de migración? Pero a usted ahora lo lleva a migración.
¿Ah?
¿Lo lleva a migración a los otros?
No, inmigración va a venir para ustedes.
¿Cuándo?
Poco tiempo.
¿Cuánto poco tiempo?
Puede ser mañana, puede ser el día después. No estoy seguro.
Ya, pero mire, yo tengo hijos aquí, po.
No sé qué decirte.
¿Cuando tenés hijos te deportan igual?
No, yo no trabajo por inmigración, no estoy seguro de cómo ellos trabajan. Pero yo sé cuando ellos se meten en el negocio de nosotros, ellos sacan a la gente normalmente rápido, no se demoran mucho.
Y a los otros los pusieron hall de migración ya.
Ya, sí.
¿Y por qué tan rápido?
Porque en el tiempo que estamos hablando, estamos tratando de verificar la identificación de ustedes y parece que ellos quieren poner un detainer para ustedes, no sé por qué. Voy a explicarte por qué te están sacando del país.
Ya, pero yo tengo un hijo, tengo familia aquí, tengo hijos, no pueden deportarme, po.
No sé si te pueden deportar la familia, pero a ti sí te pueden sacar del país.
¿Y mi hijo? Yo no puedo ser deportada porque mi hijo... ¿Cómo lo puedo hacerlo si yo creo que mi hijo también lo deporten?
¿Tu hijo nació aquí? ¿No?
Sí, es americano.
No van a sacar un hijo de...
¿Y cómo yo voy a dejar a mi hijo aquí?
No sé si puede llevarlo con usted, pero no estoy bien seguro en eso.
Mire, es que tengo unas curiosidades. Que usted es el único que sabe hablar español. Aquí ahora que los tengan aquí, a los otros... ¿Igual tenemos posibilidad de que los suelten o no? No.
Ya, como ustedes ya se van a deportar, ya no van a salir de aquí.
Now, hold on a minute there. I thought all of the illegal immigrants were coming into this country to get jobs, to have better lives, to get an education, all right, to be fine, upstanding citizens within our communities, not to go out and rob stores en masse, okay? But apparently, the left has been lying to us. A shocker, right? Okay? Because these ladies made one big mistake. Apparently, there were California plates on their car, so they traveled from California all the way out to Florida, and they thought it was the same rule set. But little did they know that in California, you're allowed to steal a whole bunch of stuff from stores and not get prosecuted. But here you are in Florida now, and they take this stuff seriously. And notice these ladies changed their tune real quick. They went from, oh, don't worry, you won't be charged, to all of a sudden find out you're going back to Argentina. All right, the shock on their faces. And notice how the one lady says, you can't deport me. I have a son. He was born here in America. Well, as tomhoman famously said, don't worry, we're not going to separate families. You can be deported together. So it looks like the cultural enrichment didn't quite work out in this scenario. However, as I mentioned, they were from California, and that's a whole different rule set, as I want to highlight in this next clip.
2 weeks ago, Guillermo Reyes was at a rally outside federal immigration court in San Francisco, where his attorneys argued the tattoo artist should remain out of ICE custody because he's lived in the U.S. since he was 6 years old. They contend Reyes is being unfairly targeted for deportation because of his activism, but he also has a criminal history, including a conviction for stabbing a rival gang member in 2013.
To be honest, according to the conversations that I've had with immigration officers, we're all criminals to them just because we weren't born here.
But you do have a record.
Yeah, but just like I do have a record as a juvenile.
The judge granted Reyes a temporary reprieve, but this past Sunday, he was back in custody, accused of several new crimes. Berkeley police say the bizarre string of incidents started here, when Guillermo Reyes called 911 to report a possible break-in. Officers arrived to find a broken window and found Reyes with a bloody hand. They took some information and left. 4 hours later, someone at this cafe called 911 for medical help.
Initially, I called in as a medical for a male breathing heavily, but now possibly a fentanyl overdose. Braids, no shirt, tattooed.
Police soon learned about a string of carjacking incidents. One happened here at this bakery, where the 3-year-old was in the backseat of a car, but Reyes was unable to get away because he didn't have the keys. And here at this gas station, where the 70-year-old victim was able to douse Reyes with gasoline before she was knocked down. And then down the block, where a big rig Reyes was driving stalled before he could get away.
So here's Guillermo Reyes, a dreamer, a person who was brought illegally to this nation at a very young age. But of course, what did he do with his dream? Did he go out and get a good education, get a good job, and become a fine, upstanding member of society? No, he did not. He became a gang member and committed a whole bunch of crimes. And of course, later on, when ICE is actually rounding up and deporting people, he participated in the demonstrations, which of course turned violent. And I'm sure that's not why he was arrested by ICE and of course flagged for deportation. However, of course, in usual fashion, the San Francisco judges actually gave him a restraining order against ICE, so they couldn't deport him. And of course, when confronted about the simple fact that, oh, in actuality, you are one of these criminal illegal aliens, what does he say? That's from when I was a juvenile. Of course, the only problem is, since getting that restraining order, he's committed a slew of new crimes. So yes, California is not a real state. They're not a serious place. They don't respect law and order. And as I've said many times before on this channel, the Democrats don't want any illegal immigrant deported. It doesn't matter how violent they are. It doesn't matter how many crimes they've actually committed, because it goes against the ideology of wide open borders, one world government, where of course America is the bad guy that has to get its comeuppance. So thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and say hi to your mom for me. Do you like t-shirts? Of course you do. And now you can support the channel by buying an Angry Teacher t-shirt designed by me, Angry Teacher. So if you like America, if you like freedom, if you like liberty, then go ahead and click the link in the description, where all designs, of course, are 100% mother approved. So enjoy yourself and find something you like today.